promised I wasn't going to do an intro for this video because honestly, it's the Prince of Wales Park, and I do talk about some really heart-touching stuff in this, and also some really interesting facts which back up what I've been saying all along about here. In fact, it's been an interesting week for finding out things which back up what I say about these random rocks. But they're not so random. Now, I did have somewhere, sorry, I'm just looking to see if I can find it. I did have somewhere some info about the Prince of Wales Park, but in absolute honesty, not only is my throat killing me, but my tongue feels like it's swelling up, which is really nice, I know. And my ear feels like it's about to, like it's about to kick off. But anyway, I'm going to put it in the info. I didn't know this actually, but they call Bingley the Throstle's Nest of... Let me just check this one out. They call it... Oh my god, it's hiding from me. The Throstle's Nest of England. Now that's quite interesting, isn't it? Like somewhere so small could be called the Throstle's Nest of England. I'm just going to do a quick peek at this cup and ring thing and see if that says anything interesting. So, oh right, I looked for that and I failed miserably. Miserably failed that task. Anyhow, there is prehistoric rock art, yeah, because this place has been around forever. Okay, I'll read you this and then this can be the intro. So, Prince of Wales Park, a community park built of special interest to Bingley. The Prince of Wales Park, located just outside the town on the road to Eldwick, is listed by English Heritage on its National Register of Historic Parks and Gardens because it is special historic interest. The story of its creation demonstrates the creativity and collective spirit that was already thriving in our local community in the 19th century. 150 years ago, the population of Bingley, living and working in the smoke-filled valley bottom, had nowhere to go for fresh air and recreation. The idea of a public park open to all classes of people, now that is very out of the ordinary for that time period. To open to all classes, we're talking about in a time where it was very much a classist system. It still is now, it's just more buried. I'll try not to ad-lib, I'll try just to read the facts. The idea of a public park open to all classes of people had become hugely popular, and once the first piece of land had been earmarked by the Enclosures Act, the mill workers poured in all the money they could spare to raise the funds to buy the remaining plots. The area consisted of the most difficult terrain possible for a park. It was on a steep hillside riddled with underground streams and containing several disused quarries scarring the landscape with open cliff faces. Much of it was open moorland. If you want to try and imagine how the terrain looked at that time, look across the road from the park to Gilstead Moor, which has similar features to this day. Now that is where the rocks are, which the Druids used, which on the video before this I've made a feature out of. Now it just goes on. I don't need to read it all word for word. They go on to talk about how they've landscaped the park, and there's a little bit of interesting stuff here, I think. The old quarry furnished plenty of stone and stoneworkers' sculpted seats and showcasing the fossil remnants of prehistoric trees among the wall tops. Dressed stone was used for an imposing main entrance gate and many of the flights of steps. The quarry floor itself was levelled, and its smooth stony base provided a perfect arena for children's ball games and community gatherings, which is where I'm playing with Ben. and the rocks are right by. Just bear in mind, this is the official turn of events, official turn of events. As we know, there's two sides to everything. Well, there's more than two sides. There's actually 3 sides, if we're going to be precise. But the world focuses on the duality. So, anyhow. Then it just goes on to say about the trees and shrubs and squirrels, and the park was opened in 1865. The park has retained much of its beauty and variety of scenery and woodland charm, though since the 1990s it has fallen victim to council spending cuts when toilets and shelters were demolished and woodland and tree management reduced to a minimum. However, the park now has an active friends group which is working on a long-term aim to restore the whole park to its former glory as a historic park, offering pleasant recreation to all sections of the community, as its creators intended. So that's that really, that's all I've got written there. Now, funnily enough, when I found out about the Friends of Bingley Park, I thought, the Prince of Wales Park, I thought to myself, should I join? Just to see if there's anything interesting being said. But then I thought that was a little bit foolish, because at the end of the day, I'm not so hard to find speaking out about all these things. I thought it might not be the cleverest thing to... Well, it's one thing to go into stealth mode and to act like a spy, but wouldn't it be a little bit hypocritical if I started doing that myself? So I thought, no, we won't do that. Anyhow, I'm going to have to go, which I'm sure isn't a bad thing, because the video is quite good that's coming up. It's actually quite interesting. So I'll sign out now, and who knows, my voice might be gone. But at least I managed to get these videos done, right? Alright then, well, have a good rest of the weekend. I'm taking Ben out for a walk now, so that's that. Bye. Take care, have a good weekend.
Boy, what's wrong? What's wrong, little one? Are you singing? Are you singing? Huh? I think he's a little bit concerned that I'm going to make him go in the water here, which is part of the reason why I switched the camera on, because it looks so cool. But it's not picking up as well as I want it to because of my reflection in the way. Shadow, I mean. Ben, what is the problem? And here's the bird bath. We are in the Prince of Wales Park, by the way. We decided, seeing as it's such a lovely day, that we'd walk over. So here we are. Haven't been here for a long time. Definitely been a while. Look at that water directly opposite us beneath the sun. I wonder where, I wonder if it's a bit of the canal maybe that's somehow picking up. That's all I can think it could be. Or it could be just glass. Maybe someone's got thingy-majiggies in, solar panels. And maybe they were reflecting in the sunshine. I don't know. Come on then, little one. We might not be filming here for very long because the wind was probably wrecked all the other filming that I did. I'm not sure. I'll have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and try and cut out any bits where the wind starts to take over. It's so annoying when that happens. See, this is the problem with winter filming. The wind tries to ruin everything. Do you like Ben's jacket? I think it's really cool. Especially because of it's got cream fur on the inside, as you can see on his collar. And there's a really cool detail. Wait, Ben, let's show everybody. See this bit here? You can put his lead so that his collar goes there. And then he's got a little this mini hood thing. A collar, a collar. But really, I like him to have his collar back because I think it looks cool. But it looks cool either way, because Ben's very cool, of course. A special dog. Let's see who this bench is for. The Chadwick family. Oh, right, so I've got an interesting story to tell you about this park. Oh, look at the light. No, come back. Let's try and catch it. There. I'm such a child. I could play with sunlight all day long. I think it's so beautiful when it casts the lights across like that. Anyway, actually, this really won't be filmed this very long because my voice is hurting so badly, and it's windy. So maybe we'll just go back here for a moment. So I was in a taxi back from North Yorkshire, and the taxi driver was actually from Eldwick, Bingley, just literally like a stone's throw up this hill is where he was from, and that's where he was brought up as a child. And he told me that his friend used to live in a big house just below this park. In fact, he showed me which house he meant as we drove down the hill. But he said to me that when he was a young boy, he was petrified of this place after dark, and he'd go around the roadway rather than to have to run through the park. So I just thought that was really interesting, because obviously it's like I hadn't mentioned anything to do with anything. I don't mention things with random people I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting that off his own back he was telling me his own experience about this place. So there you go. Anyhow, so I said to him, well, it's funny that you should mention that. I said, because I said I was brought up in the countryside and I'm not scared of the dark or anything like that. I said, but I said that park is something else on a night time. The darkness here isn't just in, a lack of light. It's a dark feeling here. It's fine in the daylight. It doesn't really have that going on. It's the second darkness falls. It's so heavy, the feeling. So yeah, I just thought it was quite good and quite confirming to hear that from some random stranger, really. Never met him before in my life, and he knew nothing about me. He certainly didn't know that I walk around filming places talking about the dark. So there you go. Anyway, let's get this away from me, because for one, I'm poorly and I look poorly, and for two, look how beautiful it is. Good boy, Ben. Because the light is making it look rather lovely. Oh, I'm glad we came over here now. And Little Legs is definitely glad. That's why we came over, because he said, no, I want to come across to the park, Nina, please. So I said, all right then, lad, we'll do that. I had a really heart-touching experience the other day. It's meant to be a secret, but I'm going to share. Oh, hey up, what have they been doing here since I was last here? Shall we have a gander? So it was on a Wednesday, and basically, sorry, just having I wonder what they're building here. Good boy, Ben. Clearly this foundation's already in place. Funny that I've never noticed it before, isn't it? I mean, the fact that there was foundations here, I wonder how much earth was over it. How much they've had to dig out. I suppose there could have been toilets here, or maybe even just like a little pavilion to sit in if it's raining at one point in time. Who knows? Or, even worse, it could have been something dark. We just don't know. Well, I just don't know, should I say. So yeah, I'm coming back from Bradford, and there's a lot of beggars in Bradford. Anyway, it was the most miserable, cold, foul day. It had been pouring down or sleeting or snowing all day long. No, sorry, this is Wednesday. It hadn't been snowing, but it had been forecast to start snowing at 4. And it just started sleeting. And I thought to myself, if there's somebody sat in this awful weather begging when I get to the train station, then I'm going to give them some money. So that's basically what I did. I got a £10 note out of my pocket, which is a bit insane because, I mean, I don't really have any money. I've got no income, but I've got a house. I've got enough food to eat. I've got warmth. I've got electric. I might not have an income and I might have very little money, but I have got so much compared to somebody with nothing. And I just thought to myself, how much is it going to take for him to be able to get up and go on his way and do whatever it is that he needs to do to make his life bearable? I thought, you know, giving him some change, yeah, that will help us day a bit. But I thought if I give him a tenner, then he'll be able to get up and leave. He won't have to sit here in the rain anymore with everyone walking past ignoring him. I thought a tenner should hopefully be enough for him to be able to go get a few beers, get a bit of food, and make his life more bearable. And it's not like I endorse drinking or taking drugs or anything like that. I mean, obviously I don't. It's not the way that we were intended to live life from God's perspective. But if you're homeless and you're in a living hell, oh my God, of course you need to anaesthetise yourself to be able to cope with it. So anyway, good boy. Good boy. Let's turn around a little bit. There you go. So yeah, basically I gave him a tenner. Oh, bless his heart. So I didn't make a big show out of it or anything. I just popped it in my hand ready. And then I saw there was like one sat, you know, just this old man. But I didn't actually realise it was an old man until I looked at his eyes as I was going by him. And I said, here you are. And I ignored his cup and I just tucked it into his hand. And basically, let's see if he's still filming yet. He looked at me and he was like so shocked he couldn't even speak, bless him. But our eyes like locked contact and he was like, his eyes came alive. And I said, look, I said, here you are. And he was like, oh! And I said, don't worry about it, just, you know. And that was all I said. And then afterwards I thought to myself, should I have said more? Should I have stopped and like, you know, said something more than what I did? But I don't know. It just didn't. I think he was already overwhelmed enough by the fact that I'd given him £10. Bless him, bless his heart. So I'm just hoping that somehow that touched him on some level. And I'm sure I might see him again. You never know. I felt bad afterwards. I felt like I should have done more. But unfortunately, I was rushing for the train. And, you know, I didn't want to make a big show out of it. It just felt right in my heart to do that at that moment in time. And yeah, I did. Oh God, I walked away not only with tears in my eyes, but a lump in my throat. And then when I got on the train, like, started worrying and feeling like, yeah, should I have said something more? Well, anyhow, I didn't. Because what I did at the time was what felt right at the time. And with, you know, as I thought about it more and more, I thought, no, probably it could have been like too overwhelming. Or if I'd have said something like, you know, Jesus loves you, which of course he does, maybe he would have felt like I had a like ulterior motive or something, which I really didn't. So I just think the fact that somebody that day took the time to think about him and help his life be a bit better was all that he probably needed. And that was enough for him. But how heartbreaking, you know, people are horrible about people that are begging. And like they say the most nasty things, like, oh, they should go get a job, or this, that and the other. And I think it's tragic. I mean, at the end of the day, sitting on the street begging all day long is nobody's choice of a way to live. It's not a life, it's an existence, you know. Well, I know some people drop out from life and choose that life because they see the ugliness that money and that the world has. And I get that. You've got like these multimillionaires who end up, you know, purposefully choosing to live life, a humble, you know, a life where they refuse to be part of the system, and I totally get that. It makes sense to me. Although I couldn't do it, I'm too soft. Yeah, maybe when I was younger, but now I'm an old lady. There's no way that I could sleep on the streets. I wouldn't be able to hack it. I'd be far too soft. It would break me. I mean, sitting in that freezing cold rain. Oh, bless his heart. And he wasn't young. He looked about 60. Oh, it was just tragic. It was so heartbreaking. Look at this here. Isn't that beautiful? The colours are really extraordinary. I hope they're picking up. They might not be. It's hard to tell when you're looking on your phone what's picking up properly and what isn't. Anyhow, on the subject of what happened with me the other day, I just like really implore to anyone that's watching this, if you're walking past somebody and it's pouring down in the rain and cold, or any time, begging's not nice no matter what time of year it is. If you've got a few, you know, a spare few pounds or dollars or whatever that you can like manage without, do if you can, and if it feels right, do help. I mean, at the end of the day, can you imagine if you were in that position? Just imagine your whole life being at the mercy at other people's kindnesses, and there's a lot of people that aren't very kind in this world. Let's face it. Let's not beat around the bush here. Look at this cloud. I just think it looks so beautiful above the trees silhouetted there. Anyway, I don't want this to be really long, and the wind's going to start wrecking everything. So I'm thinking I'm going to switch this off and just play with Ben now. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to get a nice sunlight shot before I switch off. Little Ben, where's that stick gone? Should we go have a look at that snowman as well first? It looks a little bit defrosted now. There it is. Oh, he's a cheeky little monkey. Look, he just ran off with it. Cheeky. What's I meant to do if you've taken it over there? You're not going to bring it back? It's funny, isn't it, that we've not really seen any people on either area of walking. Let's have a look at the snowman, then we can switch this off, can't we? I think he's been decapitated. That, or he's a very small snowman. Yeah, he's just a small snowman. Well, Mr. Snowman, you need a hat and nose. Oh, hang on, you've got a face. Here it is. It looks more like an owl to me than a snowman. It's a strange looking thing. What are you? Good boy, Ben. Good boy. Where's that stick gone then? Alright, well, I'm definitely signing out. Do you want to say bye? Good boy. Good boy. Woof, 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 woof. Woof. Woof, 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 woof. You know, when I said, do you want to say bye? I think he had more he wanted to say than just bye. Bless him. So yeah, that was Ben's contribution. He wanted to have a word with you all. And we're going to sign out now from the Prince of Wales Park. And the date is the 30th of February 2015. You all take care, and do feel free to comment, please, if you feel moved to. Alright then, have a good day everybody, or evening, or week, or month, or year, or lives even. Bye from me, and bye from Little Legs.